Hello, everyone, and welcome to BFM 3130. This is lecture number 4, and we are talking about business models and fintech. Now, I am connecting this lecture of today with the lecture we have in week 3. Week 3, we talked about the market research. And when we talked about market research, we talked about primary research, secondary research. We talked about feedback from the consumer through the online resources like social media. We talk about trends. And we, at the end, as we expressed on the assignment also, we want to take that all to form an idea. And from that idea, we will generate what we call the value proposition. Now, the value proposition, we will incorporate it later on, and the BMC, which is the business model canvas, and then we will introduce the whole business plan before we move it to the MVP, which is the minimum viable product. This is the process, but there is something within this process, which is the ideas, where the ideas come from, and how we evaluate whether that is a good idea or not a good idea. This is what the business models is trying to help us in. So in this part, we will go through the following agenda. So we will try to understand the design thinking of ideas and how do they come to the picture, because the market research will create those ideas and we have to deal with them from a very technical and scientific way. So we will today we'll try to do to talk about the understanding the design thinking of ideas, the discovery business planning, which we have shown in week 3 through that process. But however, now we are explaining it, expanding it, and connect it also to what we have studied in week 3. And then we will talk about the business models in fintech. Now, I understand we have spoken about BMC, which is the business model canvas in many areas, and we incorporated also in week 3. BMC is just one of those. It's a very comprehensive one, and we like to use it, and it's state of the art, but we also have so many other models in fintech. That like brainstorming, mind mapping, this is also some types of idea generating models, and Scamper techniques. Now, let me start with the basic concept of the ideas in entrepreneurship. Now, ideas are the basis for any new venture, and this very well understood. Now, an entrepreneurship is someone who works, an entrepreneur is someone who works to bring an idea into reality in order to realize its value. And I think we have talked about that, and we said the ideas are still within the innovation space, but we need to move it to the value space, then the entrepreneurship come to the picture. So typically ideas with lower, when we talk about ideas, those ones who have lower potential value will be easier to execute. For example, if I want to replicate any app in the market, an easy app for payment, it's very easy for me to do it because it's easy. Technology is done, the process is done, and the way we do it is there. So and sometimes we will do just a very easy idea, and it's easy to execute. But the ones that have high potential and have value usually actually are difficult ideas, and of course more difficult than the easier ones that have no value. So ideas that are highly innovative, usually challenging, very challenging, because you have to incorporate new technologies, You have to incorporate it in a way that traditionally was not incorporated like that. Maybe you have to combine more than one technology in one app. Maybe you have to bring a new solution that has not been identified. Maybe you have to go to another frontiers. All of those actually the ones that are very challenging and bring new value and higher value. But when we talk about ideas, we have to understand the basic framework of it. Sometimes we desire to do something and we will be very passionate about it and with huge imagination about doing an idea. And this could be our desirability. But that is not enough. We want to see what we want to do and this huge, crazy blockchain solution. Is it viable? Is it visible? Do we have does the law allow us? Does the regulations allow us? Does the whole ecosystem of fintech allow us? Do we have enough talent? Do we have enough funding? Do we have users? All stakeholders, all those stakeholders and the whole ecosystem should tell us whether it's visible or no. And visibility, as we understand it, is actually whether it is going to be a business. Is it profitable? And if it is profitable, is that profitability will continue and this business will be scale up, which means is it going to be sustainable in a way that will progress and grow? So we are talking about desirability. This is what we want to do. This answers the question whether we can do it. And the third one, does it really have a market? And is it useful for everyone in this startup, all stakeholders, including the users? Usually, an idea is an untested solution. And in itself, it just our ideas, but has no value. Actually, in itself, does not have a value in a way that it cannot be a business just because you think you would do something. It's not really a business. An idea can be executed. So ideas are good when we start, but they are not actually the real value we are looking for. Value arises, as you know, from being able to execute an idea and realize its potential. And that thing is actually related to whether it's visible and viable. This is this is how I want you to think about it when you are going to, develop your ideas that you will implement either for the mini project, which you are going to develop it individually for signing one, or when we gather up and take the best idea and continue with the whole project and starting week 7 after that, which is the group project. So as you can see, it's this triangle is showing a circle. Is the idea desirable? Yes, fine. And we have a passion about it and we desire to do it. Maybe maybe we'll find some segment of market for it, but is it visible? Can we do it? Taking into consideration all these limitations of the fintech ecosystem. Is it viable? Which means, is it going to grow and continue? So there is no problem about this. This is how we should look at the ideas when we start doing it. We have to have the dimensions. Now, this model actually coming from the Institute of Design at Stanford. So we have to empathize the idea, which means we have to focus on it. Now, empathizing the idea, empathizing the concepts itself needs some market research. Now, I want to take you back to week 3 when we talked about it. We are going to do market research. That market research is actually will lead us to understanding. Empathizing in this case is actually understanding, and understanding will be based on those information. Now, after we get this market, all this market research, secondary research, primary research, the feedback from the online feedback, focus groups, surveys, our observations, our data, the data that have been published, the trends, all of this, we can actually define or understand what we call empathize the idea. Then after we empathize the idea, we define it. Now, empathizing the idea, defining the idea comes after this stage, which means now we know what's the problem. And we can actually identify in this stage the pain, the need, and the want of the customer. And if we know it, now we have to bring it to the solution, which means we have to ideate it. Now, ideate the problem means finding the solution. Find the solution, and of course, this will be a technical solution, a technological solution. Also, we can talk about if the problem is we define it, and the pain is actually the high fees or the low process. We want to see whether we can ideate that issue, which means we can solve it. So ideation in this case is actually solving the problem. Then we go to the prototyping. Now, the prototype is actually making what we call an MVP, and then we have to test it. And then the circle will come back, and we see what is the feedback of the testing, and then come back to improve it. So this is how the model, and I want you to apply it on the steps we just showed to you last week. Now, I tried to make it somehow clear, and I said, okay, let me just apply an example. And I imagined a problem, which is a problem with around 2 million people, 2 million workers in this country, who are the foreign workers from each country, from so many countries, who are actually either expats or labor, and they want to make all those transfer of money to their families and their relatives back home, maybe in a weekly basis, maybe in monthly basis, but they are very frequent. So the objective of this is to understand the user needs, which is in this case, for example, the expats and the laborers and the foreign workers in this country. And we want to understand the need, challenges, and pain points in what? In their payments and in the remittance. So now, remember, I'm working in the remittance, which means the transfer across countries. So I want to understand the user need, challenges, and pain points related to the payment and remittance in Malaysia. So the action is I have to conduct, as I told you, this is the market research. This is actually the market research area, which we are going to do. We conduct interviews, surveys, and find studies with various user groups, such as migrant workers, local consumers, small business owners, and financial service providers. And we observe how they currently handle payments and remittance and listen to their concerns about the existing solutions. Now we have to define it. We reach to the definition part, which is this part, which is the green box here. So when we define it, based on the insight from the empathize phase, you define a problem statement. This is what we call it the value proposition that address the core issues. This problem statement will guide your design efforts as you move forward. Now, ideate the issue will be it will have to have a brainstorm, thinking and discussions among the team, and generate a wide range of potential solutions. You already know the problem. Now we are looking for the solution. So the ideation is, in this case, is actually looking for the solution. So you gather a team for brainstorming sessions where you generate ideas. Of course, when you do it alone, you will do it just a simple one, and then we will do when we take it to the final project, we will have that brainstorming. So we will generate ideas for features and functionality of the app, consider various aspects such as the multilingual support, if we have those international, as I told you, expat or foreign workers, maybe integration with popular local banks, low-cost transaction options, and easy to navigate interface. The prototyping now will be to develop simple, scaled-down version of your app to explore and test the idea. And this is the minimum value products if you are talking about the canvas. The canvas model will give you this, which is the this is the after you develop the canvas, you will have to. This is the MVP actually. The prototyping is the MVP, which you create a prototype of your app, focusing on the key features like the user interface for sending money, the process of linking bank accounts, or the notification system for transactions updates. Then you have to test it, take that test and see what the customer say, try to develop it, and you will go now to the what you call the iterative process, which means like a circle. You take feedback, you improve, and when you are ready, then you just deploy the whole app. So if you can see the idea, this is how you structure your thinking while you are going from the market research until you get the MVP for testing. Now, this is actually the discovery business planning, which actually reflects what I have said here and what I said here, but it's almost the same thing. You will do a market research, there will be idea generation, there will be a business model development, there'll be prototyping, and then after that, you will do risk management, and then you will do, based on that, strategic planning. This is the discovery business planning that you should do for your startup. I end this part, and I think this is the end of part one. Thank you very much, and I will see you later on and the following part.